On. Okay, recording on now. View dah hilang. Okay, alright. Everything there. Okay, today's topic is on criminal procedure in Malaysia. Okay, criminal procedure in Malaysia. Now, of course, the nitty-gritty of the background we need to look. That's the beauty of learning. You have to understand what happened or what is the background of any law that you do. The background will be very important. That's why for you to become a law student, history is one of the subject that they look for before they allows you to join. All right, so here is the history. All right, the independent system of our country, Malaysia, criminal justice system is very good. All right, definitely. I'm looking at the third slide now. All right, that the idea, the objective is to maintain control. All right, what does maintain control means? It means that it wants the public to be safe. To be happy, secure, all right, so that when you walk around, when you do your nitty-gritty job, especially when it comes to money, you know that your money is protected. Sometimes we can't protect it because the money is parked with somewhere else, the bank or the office or anywhere that is appropriate to park the money, right? Tapi knowing that there is a criminal justice system to take control, to punish all the bad people who are trying to do no good to your money, all right, then we feel good. All right, okay, so in that way, it means it maintains social control, knowing that the knowledge that the criminal will be prosecuted, that is already the start of a good control. Second one, with the criminal justice system, all proper and in order, then it will enforce the law. This law is the legislation that will put all those criminals behind bars or prosecuted them for the crime they are doing, in putting you in insecurity that your money is threatened, all right, to be taken away from you. All right, okay, now the next one is just to administer justice. Administer justice here means that everybody who did the wrong will be punished. Sebab tu dalam law, they will always put the element of the crime. Then dalam your job, you have to understand the element of the crime. So everyone with the same element of the crime, if charged with that particular section, will have to be proven guilty or not guilty if the element were not present. Right? Jadi kat situ administer justice. So in a way, to administer justice, they want to be, all right, they want to uphold justice. Very rare we say they want to be fair, because injustice is not fairness, it's justice. All right, to uphold it is the objective, right? To be fair sometimes because circumstances differ from now and then. Jadi fair depend on the circumstances. Kalau ada if there are two situations where the circumstances are the same, then you might want to say that the result will not be fair if it is not the same. Tapi most of the situation that is involved circumstances, the background is never the same. Yeah, all right, okay. Then I wrote there that the system in Malaysia, we follow very, very strictly from the English system, but some of the variety in the application, we got the influence from India. Why we get the influence in our criminal justice system from India? Because our penal code is 97% exactly the same as the penal code from India. And the penal code in India is actually 100% drawn by the British, macam tu, right? Jadi at the end of the day, we are still under the, all right, same influence of the British, and the British also influence the rest of the world. So whenever the situation does not meet the Malaysian local circumstances, all right, English practice, the English law, the law that we borrow from the English or the Indian, we will then change or harmonized it so that it will be falling into the same, all right, benefit to the public of the local Malaysian. Tu dia panggil apa tu? Alright, okay, that is where Malaysia can change whatever it is as long as the changes bring in line to the local circumstances. All right, so don't worry about that we follow the English criminal justice system, that it will not bring justice to Malaysia. All right, or to the people of Malaysia. Don't worry about that we set our cases and limitation according to the Indian situation, that the Malaysian local situation we do not take into consideration. That does not happen because the guarantee is all right, embedded in Section 3 and Section 5 of the Civil Law Act Malaysia and in the Federal Constitution. All right, now let's move into further information on your criminal justice administration. This criminal justice administration system in Malaysia, it involves, all right, three most important body, right, on the public. That's number one is the enforcement agency, number two is the prosecuting body, number three is the court system. Right, when we talk about the prosecuting bodies, all right, okay, the accused and the victims both can call their lawyers, all right. The one who is being accused, normally for the prosecution, they will call for their defense lawyer. For the victims, they will always be represented by the public prosecutor from the AG Malaysia, all right, if in Malaysia. In the rest of the world, it's the same. Although there are three agencies that is involved, but there are four people who are playing a role in making sure that criminal justice system going to work. All right, okay, so that is all in your screen. Nombor berapa entah ni? 4 ke berapa? Alright, this one tak ada nombor pula, lupa letak. Okay, now all this system in any country in the world, they are all set and clear. Nobody can go, all right, against it. All right, even when there is a necessity to have a special circumstances, that special circumstances, it's also put in the legislation book. Now, what is the legislation that control, maneuver, maintain, allows, and gives special condition, all right, for the criminal justice system to be upheld, all right, okay, it is called Criminal Procedure Code. Now, Criminal Procedure Code in Malaysia, all right, is represented by Akta number 593. All right, the Akta number ni is also very important, right? Not so important as the name of the act. The name of the act is Criminal Procedure Code, just like we have Penal Code. All right, okay, Criminal Procedure Code, right? This is where you find all the laws with regards to prosecuting and the power of the agency, all right, and also, all right, the way the process in court must be handled. So, jadi, alright, it's really very important, this Criminal Procedure Code ataupun Akta 593. Tadi I wanted to say, alright, that when you mention the name Act 593, 593, alright, this number, alright, is always the discussion in the government. In the government, alright, level 1, when you discussed with the policymakers, the good, the bad, the things that need to be changed in the Criminal Procedure Code, selalunya they will not refer to CPC, they will refer to Act 593. In Putrajaya, people talk about the Act usually by the number. All right, why? Because Criminal Procedure Act, in short, is CPC. All right, but at the same time, there is Civil Procedure Code. And that is also represented by CPC juga. Jadi, instead of making mistakes, they refer to Act 593. Now, I say this because some of you would be interested to work as the investigator, right? In your report, right, you will need to address the act. So address the act accordingly. If you are talking to the public, if your client is the public and your report that needs to be presented, they don't even know Act 593, then you probably will have to spell it right on the name as Civil Procedure Code. Right, but if you were talking about those group of people who understood what Criminal Procedure Code is all about and representing that is the number, then you have to write in your report according to the audience that you are going to satisfy. All right, okay. Now I also wrote there that Criminal Procedure Code, the one that you must look, you must always look into the latest amendment. The one that you must look is up to the amendment of 2010. Amendment 2010, there are quite a big amendment there. So for those of you who have law background, if my section here are not correct, all right, because of the amendment additional section 172, all right, 172 ABC, isn't it? Is the latest one that is being added. But in this, for your class, I'm not adding section 172 ABC. Kenapa? Because you do not need to practice the criminal justice system. But just in case, if my section in this act is not correct, you come and help me correct, yeah? All right, because amendment 2010, all right, is new for somebody who is not practicing to me, all right? I'll try change whenever I can, yeah? Tapi kadang-kadang this PowerPoint, sometimes the PowerPoint the one that I took, I forgot or I missed to write the correct number, right? Okay, therefore, when you write your answers in exam for the criminal justice system, all right, whenever the section are important, I let you know and you have to have the section down in your answers. But if not, it is the process that is really very important in the CPC, yeah, all right, okay. Now, not only that the Criminal Procedure Code, okay, talks about procedure. There are also other law that talks about procedure and the process of the court, or the procedure of the law enforcement, or the procedure for the prosecutor to grant bail or to impose charges. All right, okay, there are also procedure in these other acta or legislation that impose the judge's process, all right, okay, or the court process. So these are the other law that also talks about Criminal Procedure Code, all right, that is Anti-Corruption Act, all right, Security Act, Security Industry Security Commission Act, Security Industry Act, Banking and Financial Institution Act, all right, kita punya apa? MACC, all right, SPRM, all fall within those legislation that impose, all right, procedure, that impose criminal procedure to attend to criminal matter, all right, okay. Now, right, do you have any questions, right, at this? Everybody clear? Yes?
Clear, Prof.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you. All right, let me just continue. In the criminal justice system, there are two approaches. Definitely, there are two approaches. One part, very important, is the investigation. The investigation is done by the law enforcement agency. Sometimes the word is law enforcement bodies, all right? And then the second part is the prosecution. This is the one that brings you to the trial, all right? Okay, now every time when they run a trial or investigation, all right, you must remember these people must follow, they must conduct according to the conduct that is allowed to them. Now, what is the conduct that is allowed? The conduct that is allowed on the investigation enforcement bodies, all right, they must follow CPC itself. They must follow Acta Act 593 itself. Or if their work or the nature of their, sekejap ya, Saya mute kan sebab it's going to be bad when you hear the recording later with your microphone on. All right. Now, when I was saying that they must, remember I wrote there at the bottom that Akta 145 says that the prosecutor, the agency must discharge their duty according to the Federal Constitution. Federal Constitution says you have a right. Right, you have the right to be defended. Right, you have the right to be processed according to the law. You cannot be apprehended unless the law says so, or you have breached some of the law. All right, okay. Jadi the process that they go through, if it's in ordinary situation, if you are arrested under the Penal Code, then CPC Act 593 the procedure will be looked at there. Right, if you are charged with anti-corruption, then the procedure will be under the Anti-Corruption Act together with the CPC Act 593. Then follows all the rest, right? Okay, so you see, it's not an easy thing for the law enforcement body to break off your rights under the Federal Constitution. They will be conducting the investigation according to their procedure. And if they don't do that, all right, okay, your arrest or your the action taken with you, it's going to be all right, fail, meaning that you will not go to jail, they will release you. All right, okay. Now the next one is looking into the agencies. All right, the agency are law enforcement, the court, and the nampak tu, the correction prison. Right, dekat sini mana pergi the prosecutor? Alright, because the prosecutor dah masuk dekat dalam law enforcement. Alright, okay. Sometimes I purposely wrote it this way because sometimes some books cut short everything. Right, with the first part we have already understood law enforcement, prosecutor, and the lawyer and the court. Suddenly, some of the book that I wrote, the book that you probably refer to, all right, says that law enforcement, court, and correction, the prison. All right, okay. So therefore, this correction prison ni always masuk dekat dalam law enforcement juga. It's enforcement after the court have already given you judgment. So don't worry too much about the agency. All right, as long as you know the law enforcement, the court, law enforcement, prosecuting agency, and also the court. All right, okay. And if you want to add, that would be 4. That would be the prison or the correction center. All right, by then, all right, it doesn't mean that it's part of your forensic crime, tapi it's part of the criminal justice system. All right, siapa dia in the agency of enforcement? All right, there are the police, there are the custom, there are the security commission, central bank. All right, there are also the SPRM officer. All right, other than that, duty of law enforcement. What is their duty? Who are the enforcement? Right, usually the word enforcement refers to the police, but the word enforcement in Malaysia refers to enforcement agency. There's a big number. All right, MACC, that is SPRM, under their own enforcement with their own emblems and uniform. My son in the MYCC, that is comparative. That is competition. All right, okay. The other son in MYCC, the other one is in police, prosecutor. All right, all that are considered as law enforcement. All right, okay. So I'll try to give you the example, but their objective is the same. Number one, they wanted to prevent crime, protect the welfare, investigate, they identify, and prosecute them later. That's the reason why I say PP falls into the enforcement body as well. So this is the process. All right, the investigation process. Right, the investigation officer. Dekat sini, investigation officer is IO, but investigation officer will always have a team. The team always start dengan any other staff. All right, IO is only kalau dekat polis ada jawatan dia IO. But in the MYCC, MACC, there are just the ordinary, all right, enforcement agency that going to carry out, all right, all the investigation. Macam mana dia dah tahu the investigation to start? Somebody triggers it. All right, someone triggers it. Someone goes to the police and complain. That triggers the investigation. All right, okay. The boss tells you to go and report to the police. You trigger the investigation. All right, the reporter discover it. All right, and someone report on it, or the reporter herself or himself reported. So the triggering a part coming from somebody or the public. All right, and then the police will set up a team, and the team will be headed with the one that is going to be in charge with the investigation officer. All right, okay, selalunya inspector lah. All right, okay, they will go and they will investigate. And the IO is the one that going to do this paperwork called IP. You have to be familiarize yourself, if you have never been in the enforcement or not in law, with this word IO and IP, because later on, all right, when you were called as a witness or when you are participating, replying, all right, this word will not be an alien. So the investigating officer who runs with the team, all right, they later then come back and prepare the paper. The preparation of the paper is the one that you want to talk about, right? Manalah tahu, if you have this a private investigation company, you will also be able to prepare the investigation paper. Yeah, all right. The IP is based on the complaint lodge. All right, okay, and then the IP, investigation paper. All right, the paper dulu, very important to know what must be inside the paper. All right, okay, the paper must record statement from the witness and the suspect. All right, then documentary evidence collected during the investigation. Sebab tu bila kata documentary evidence, before this class we have looked into evidence, the relevant of evidence, the important of evidence, all right, the admissibility of evidence and how evidence should be gathered. All right, okay, sebab tu this IO will need to know the evidence act and the evidence class before, all right, so that he will prepare the evidence in the documentary collection. All right, name it, number it. Now nampak tu statement recorded. Bila kita kata statement recorded, is either today record by a tape, record by computer, record by internet, they are all accepted. Long ago, bila kata statement recorded from witnesses or suspect, this statement must be in writing. All right, okay, therefore, and still today, all right, you go to the police, all right, you record it. But at the same time, there is a leeway. Those are the amendment in 2005, right? All recorded statement is considered as good statement and admissible, right? As if that person himself is the one that says it to the tape, all right? Okay. Now, recorded statement ni, it's part of the admissible statement kan? All right, that we have learned in the evidence, all right? Okay, now IO duty, these are the investigator on ground, all right? The IO duty is to collect evidence to prove the ingredient of the charge against the accused. You see, although the charge come later, but you gotta know that the person, all right, that's why the IO will always have a team. They will sit down, they will decide that the complaint you gave, it's going to be involve 4 sections, for example. In penal code, it's always 4 sections. All right, theft, all right, cheating, okay, CBT, CMA. All right, now but the 3 serangkai is cheating, CMA, and CBT. Theft is the difference between the other 3. Why? Because theft, it's when the person you don't know, all right, the culprit doesn't know the person that he took the property with, right? Most of the time that is theft, right? Tapi dekat dalam cheating, you know who is the person you taking the, all right, or you committing the crime against, all right, or in the CBT and CMA. In these 3 situations, you always know. Jadi, all right, the IO or you, all right, the forensic investigator, you are going to be clever enough. The moment you hear, all right, the complaint that comes in, The kepala has to be thinking, all right? Your head must be thinking, all right? So you study, look into the element. If they don't know, if the situation involves theft, if the situation could be involving cheating, but cheating could accelerate, isn't it? Dia naik tangga, go up the ladder, all right? From cheating, it moves to CMA, or it could be CBT. So the element there, the entrustment, the element of misappropriate with an intention, against or without the intention, in a situation of good faith. All right. So you see, when you collect evidence, it's not something that you collect out of the no, meaning that out of no knowledge in the head. All right. Okay. You must have the aim. What would be the evidence or the documentary evidence that you are going to collect? All right, high quality IP are vital. What is high quality? That is high quality. You learn what is the element, you put it in the IO duty to go and search for the evidence. That is a high quality, investigation report. Yeah, all right, okay.